Hello students, welcome back to our online class. So students, in the last class we have discussed about forms of government, that is chapter 3 of social science. Okay, so today we'll discuss parliamentary and presidential form of government. So students, take out page number 194. Parliamentary and presidential. Now here we'll know what are the parliamentary form of government and what are the presidential form of government. The parliamentary and presidential forms of government are based on the extent to which the executive and the legislature are dependent or independent of each other. So in parliamentary and presidential form of government we will learn the powers. Okay, now the powers between legislative and executive are interconnected, or the powers between legislature and executive are independent. Okay, under the presidential presidential system, okay, under the presidential system the legislature and the executive are separate. That means in the presidential form of, remember these things, it's very important. Okay, it's very important. So under the presidential system the legislature, now what is legislature? Legislature is the law making organ. That means who used to make the laws. So in presidential form of government the legislature and executive are separate. Okay, they does not have any relation. And what are executive and who are executive? Executives are those which implement these laws. Legislature who make laws, and executive are those who implement laws, those who work on these laws. Now there is a separation of power. Means separation of power means powers has been divided. Got it? That means their powers are separate. Legislature have its own powers and executive are having its own powers. They are not connected with each other, or neither they are dependent on each other, nor their powers are same. In the parliamentary form. In the parliamentary form, the executive is a part of the legislature and there is a fusion of powers. Now, in parliamentary form of government, the executive is a part of the legislature and there is a fusion of powers. That means that they are interdependent. Okay, now they are connected to each other, the executive and the legislature. That means those who make laws and those who implement the laws, there is a fusion of powers. Also in the parliamentary system, the head of the state is separate from the head of the government. In the parliamentary form of government, the head of the state is separate from the head of the government. Now let us know who is the head of government and who is the head of legislature. The head of the government is elected on the basis of the number of members the political parties have in the legislatures. Now how the head of the government is elected? The head of the government is elected by the members of the legislature. If a party has a clear majority in the legislature, the leader of that party becomes the prime minister. That means the head of the government is the prime minister. Now who is the prime minister? Narendra Modi, and he is the party, and which party does he belong? He belongs to Bharatiya Janata Party, that is called BJP. Then how he became the prime minister? That means what happened? The members of the legislature is not it. The legislature with the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, these are called legislature, is not it. So the members are elected in the legislature. Suppose much more members are elected from Bharatiya Janata Party, then and Congress have got less vote in the legislature, then Bharatiya Janata Party's leader was maybe Narendra Modi, is not it, and by that only then he became the Prime Minister of India. If a party has a clear majority in the legislature, the leader of that party becomes the Prime Minister, and that is why the BJP won in the legislature by the majority vote, and that is why Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister. Sometimes no party has a clear majority. In such cases, a number of parties may form a coalition to form the government. The executive, sometimes what happen, there is no majority. Okay, when there is no majority, then the parties may form coalition. Now what is coalition? Coalition means temporary group. So when there is no majority, they used to form a temporary group. Okay. The executive in the parliamentary form is based on the support of the party in the legislature. Now how an executive is formed? Executive is formed when the party used to support any member in the legislature. He becomes the executive in the parliamentary form of government. Okay. The political party or a coalition of the parties that has the majority in the legislature controls the executive. Now someone has to control the executive, otherwise he will misuse the power. Is not it the who controls the executive? The party who has the majority in the legislature. Majority in the legislature means majority support in the legislature, or a coalition of parties, coalition, or maybe they have gone through though they are temporary group, they have power to control over the executive. The Prime Minister and the Cabinet is in Great Britain are good examples of this form of government. Now which country does have parliamentary form of government? So India and Great Britain has parliamentary form of government. Okay, but in the presidential form, the executive and the legislature are separate. There is a separation of power between the executive and the legislature. The real power is in the hands of an elected president who is not a member of the parliament. The powers are in the hands of the president, but the president is not the member of the parliament. He is also not responsible to the parliament. Now coming to unitary and federal. When there is only one government for the whole country, it is known as the unitary form of government. Now when there is only one government, when there is, that's called uni. Uni means what? Uni means one. When there is only one form of government, it is called unitary form of government. This form of government makes and also executes the laws. So this is the only government who used to make the laws and also who used to implement the laws. Now Great Britain, China and Chile are examples of such a government. So in Great Britain, China and Chile, there is only one form of government. In a federal form of government, the distribution of power is between the central and the state governments. So like we have studied only one form of government, but in federal form of government there are two types of government. And the distribution of power, because how two types of government? Because it is the center and the state. The powers are divided between the central government and the state governments. Most of the laws that the central government makes apply all over the country. Now who makes the central government is used to make the laws. Laws means the rules and regulations, and that rules and regulations will be followed by the whole country. Laws passed by the state government also apply only in the state. So when the state makes any laws, that law is applicable only for that particular state and not for the whole country. But when a government used to make the law for from the center, then it will be applicable to the whole country. But state, it will be limited only to state and not for the whole country. Okay. So we'll study up to here, and in the next class we shall study about the constitutions. Okay. Till then, thank you.